For this tutorial, I'm going to show how to mate two surfaces together, and I'll also show how to use the triball positioning tool. And eventually we will engrave some text into a surface. To begin with, we're going to add some text. So we're going to click on the annotation tab. We're going to click on the text. These are all left clicks. I'm going to left click on text here, and then I'm going to left click on the surface I want the text to appear on. I want it to be 10 millimeters high, and I'd like my text to be 1 millimeter thick. So I had 10 and 1, and then next. We're going to leave this the same. Then we're going to click next, and we're going to change this option to back, and we're going to click on finish. Now we're going to enter some text here. And I'm going to left click here twice, just in the blue area anywhere. You can see my text appears now on the surface of my cell phone holder. I do need to arrange it a little bit, so I'm going to pull these handles, and I also want to maximize its width on the front, so I want to rotate my text. So in order to rotate my text, I'm going to come up to the triball positioning tool. I'm going to left click here, and I'm going to select this push pin. And now I can left click inside of the circle right here, and I can simply drag down and let go. And when I let go, this box will pop up, and I can type in 90 and press enter. That rotates at 90 degrees. I'm going to turn my triball tool off now, and I'm going to maximize my text size on the front here. So if I want it to be as large as it can be, that's probably just a little bit too large. So we just kind of play around with it just a little bit. That looks pretty good. The next thing that I want to do is I want to move it up a little bit. So I'm going to, with my text selected here, it's blue, I can turn on the triball positioning tool, and then I can just use this push pin to position the text up higher. I can also use it to center the text on the front of my cell phone holder, and probably put it up here towards the top. And then lastly, I do want to have it be center justified. So I'm going to center justify it and turn the triball positioning tool off. Now, in order for me to actually engrave this text, I need this to become a solid part. So with my text selected in the scene browser here, I'm going to go to Tools, and I'm going to go to Operations, and I'm going to go to Convert to Solid, and I will just click on OK and OK. And now you can see if I orbit by pressing down the scroll button and rotating, you can see that the text has lost its position now that it is no longer text. It's a solid part. I cannot edit the text anymore. So in order to get it back to the front surface, we're going to use some constraints. So we're going to go to the Assembly tab, and on the Assembly tab, we're going to go to Positioning Constraints. So I'm left clicking Positioning Constraints, and we're going to make sure that this option here is Mate. Now I'm going to zoom in, and very carefully I want to select the back surface of these letters. I want to be careful I don't accidentally select some other surface. So orbit and just make sure that you're getting the back of these letters. So I'm going to left click on the back of one letter. I'll zoom out, and now I'm going to orbit around to the front, and I need to select the surface I want it to be mated to, which is this front surface. So I'll left click that surface, and then I'll just left click this check mark. Now my text is mated to the front surface of my cell phone holder. Let me explain that a little bit more, what that means. So if I select my text and I come up to the triball positioning tool, turn it on, I can move the text around on this surface left and right. So there I've moved it to the left. Here I've moved it back to the right, and it's still on the same plane as this front surface, the same geometric plane. So I'm going to do a fit scene. I'm going to do a front, and looks like I've got it centered, but maybe I wanted to move it up higher on the front surface. I can do that. I can also drag it down lower. So I can slide it anywhere on this surface that I want to. The only thing that I cannot do is remove it either forward or backwards off of the surface. And I can't do that because it's constrained. Let me show you. If I orbit this way and I try to pick the text up off of the surface, it looks like it's coming off, but when you let go, okay, they snap together. If I try and take it this way, I let go, they snap together. So you cannot move the text forward or backwards off of that surface. In order to do that, because I do need to actually move it into the surface, I'm going to need to turn my constraint off. So I've constrained it so it's on the surface and it will remember that positioning. So now I'm just going to right click here and I'm going to uncheck lock. Now I can turn my triball tool back on, and what I'll do is show you. Let me orbit here a little bit so you can see what's happening. I want to sink it into the surface of my cell phone holder. So I'm just going to grab this push pin. I'm going to drag it up or push it down towards the surface, and you can see it actually coming out the back. So I'll let you see that. So I let go right here. And if I just left it go, it would be behind my cell phone holder. But I only want it to go into the surface 0.5 millimeter. So in this box that has popped up, I'm going to enter 0.5. That's 0.5 millimeter. And I'm going to press enter. Now my text is actually sunk into the surface 0.5 millimeters. Not very much, but enough if we remove the text and the material that it is sunk into, we'll be able to see the letters engraved in this surface. In order to do that, we'll turn the triball tool off. We're going to come to the scene browser and select our cell phone holder main body. And we're going to go to feature, and we're going to select Boolean and subtraction. So with subtraction selected, we're going to click on our letters here. So I'm going to left click that. You'll see that my text pops up in bodies for subtraction. And now I just click the check mark and I select OK to this message. And it deleted my letters, and it also deleted the 0.5 millimeter of material that the letters were sunk into. So that's going to leave a nice engraved effect when I go to print this out. And that is how to use the mate command along with the triball positioning tool to position letters on an object, and then use the Boolean command to delete the letters and leave behind an engraved text effect.